Hey everybody, today we are watching some Rentana bucket gameplay. If you don't know who Rentana is, he's the #1 bucket in the world and has been since early Splatoon 2. I'm going to try to do a little bit of a deeper analysis on a few key moments of this game, and we're going to be able to see a Masterclass Rainmaker game, so there will be plenty of Rainmaker moments as well. Rentana's using Gambit, so he will be wanting to extend that and take advantage of the early game. And he is able to catch out the S-Blast and the ballpoint here. And it's looking like they should be able to get the first checkpoint. Rentana will strike the top side in order to secure the checkpoint and then push up to try to extend this push. So with two of his teammates down, he's going to back up. Try to give jumps, try to hold mid-map control. It's a little bit hard to push height on this map, so, you know, mid, you can really just take advantage of the paint. And he will be able to get one, gets traded out. So it's only 2 up for the enemies. He will be able to just respawn fine, defend the check, and we'll decide to jump to the left and look for a flank here. Unfortunately for him, the S-Blast is sharking, but he's able to jump out, and he's just fine. And he does pick the ballpoint off here on the flank. And he'll see 3 enemies down low, so he will push the high ground and try to pick them off. The S-Blast does jump off, but I think they were dead either way. And with just the ballpoint defending, Rentana's actually able to pick them off, and this is going to initiate the next portion of the push where they're able to back. Rentana gets another kill, and at this point, it may be KO or high points. It's very hard to KO with the pedestal being right next to the spawn. However, that's a huge push on this map, so you have about 3 minutes to stall this game out or get the KO, and that's gonna be pretty hard for the enemy team to KO on this map. At this portion of the game, you just want to maintain map control, get kills, make it difficult for the enemy team. They pretty much only have a good chance of getting a KO level push if they do wipe you. So if you're behind them or in weird spots like this, it can be difficult, but he does realize that the dually fight is pretty much meaningless, and we'll go back and actually put some great strikes down on the ground in order to kill the Rainmaker even though it's in back. And he will just continue to pick off the stragglers. You can see how difficult Rainmaker is when you don't have map control, and the enemy team is definitely making some mistakes here by being overextended and trying to force things a little bit too hard. They still have some time left to them, but they are struggling to really find any kills, and Rentana is picking off so many players in this game. Bucket is very good in skirmish type situations because it has the ability to paint for itself and has range. And he will also just go back, try to maintain mid-map control and pick off any flankers like this ballpoint. But with only a minute left on the clock, the enemy team really has to get a strong push going here soon because they are running out of time. Losing the first checkpoint's not too bad. Dying there isn't great, but you can see Rentana's team is on the top side, defending quite well, and the enemy team will not be able to push up there without any picks. And if you notice there, Rentana is actually sharking on the ledge. I'll show that in a moment, but it's a very nice play that I see players like Yochan, Rentana, especially slower fire rate guns do. But I think it's something that all guns can do, and is something that a lot of Western players probably don't do as much. So Rentana will go to the top right, try to camp this out. Ends up falling off the map, but only 10 seconds left, so the enemy team will have to pick it up and not die for the rest of the game with the Rainmaker if they want to win. And they do have a decent opportunity now that they have gotten to the high ground, but Rentana is here, ready to defend. And he did force an early back from the ballpoint, so it's looking quite good. Beautiful strikes to force the Rainmaker off the top side. Picks the ballpoint, and it's looking pretty much unplayable for the enemy team now, being on low ground, only 2 alive. And that's a beautiful Rainmaker game. Now I will show you some of the key moments that led to that victory. So in the beginning of this game, the dually ends up getting picked off. The enemy vac ends up vacking on the right. Rentana's vacuum ends up using his in the middle. And you can see an opportunity here where Rentana can push through the middle of the map and clear out the enemies on the left side while the vacuum is going on the right, and end up getting a really strong push here and securing the first checkpoint. Beautiful suction bomb dodge, by the way. And strikes to secure the top side so that he can push in and that the checkpoint is safe to get. And then this is another very key moment in which Rentana will back up and give jumps to his team, and that allows them to maintain mid-map control even though 2 of his allies did die. So a little bit later in this game, Rentana will find the ballpoint trying to come up the elevator, which is a very hard angle for a ballpoint to fight. But as Rentana sees 3 players on the low ground, instead of pushing through mid or trying to force through right, he will actually go above them on the high ground. And his team does end up picking all these players off, but as they do, he is then able to push up and pick the ballpoint in the next fight as he was caught out on the original flank. And with some beautiful movement, some nice covering shots, and some bucket mechanics, he's able to pick the ballpoint off, and the enemy team is now forced to fight inside of a vacuum, which is pretty much unplayable after the buffs. And then Rentana's team is able to push it to 4. Soon after in this game, Rentana is fighting the dually in the enemy base. However, he realizes that the fight that he's currently taking doesn't really matter, so he will jump back and then strike the Rainmaker while they're trying to get the checkpoint, and is actually able to kill them with the strikes when nothing else would be able to kill through that vac. And then he also picks off some stragglers here and prevents the enemy team from getting a checkpoint or any push at all, which is a massive time saver and potentially game saver in Rainmaker. And this is a small mechanics type thing where players will actually shark on ledges and look over with their camera, and as soon as the enemy is within reach or ends up looking at them like this junior does, Rentana will actually drop off the ledge immediately after sharking over the top of it and drop on and kill this junior. And last but not least, the enemy team will get a chance to push here. Rentana is actually the only one here defending on the left early game, and he will force the vacuum early, get a pick with his bomb, and then have strikes to defend as well. And he'll actually strike the entire backside so that the Rainmaker would be forced to push like this ballpoint did, or drop like the Rainmaker did. And at that point, with them being low ground, this game is pretty much over unless there are some miracle kills from an S-Blast. And that will close out the game. So if you enjoyed, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do a little bit deeper analysis on certain guns and weapons and solo queue and tournaments if you do prefer this style, but just let me know because I'm honestly just trying stuff and seeing what you guys enjoy the most. So thank you very much.